When I was in fourth grade, I came up with a scam. I discovered that at lunchtime, a lot of people would not finish their lunch, and I discovered that I could save my lunch money that my parents had given me and eat off of other people's plates, right? Fortunately, this is 1996 we were talking about. In 2020, that might not fly so well. And so I had saved up a few bucks from doing that. And then a few weeks later, there was some kind of event at school where there were a lot of things for sale. And I got excited and I bought a lot of crap that I didn't need. And then later on, I discovered I didn't need it and I sold a bunch of that crap. And if I remember correctly, there was this yo-yo that I had bought. And I had paid $1 for it. But my classmate really wanted it, and I sold it to him for $2. And I got really excited because I had doubled my money, and I worked out on a piece of paper what would happen if I kept doubling that money. Every time there was a school sale, if I find something I could buy and resell it for double, what would happen? Because most of the other stuff, I wasn't making that much of a profit on. I think that was the only item that I doubled my money. And I figure next time I'll keep a sharp eye on something I could easily double my money on. And I couldn't believe my eyes. It was the first time I ever calculated it. I couldn't believe my eyes that it would only take a few dozen doublings before I would make $1 million. And I asked my math teacher about that, and she couldn't believe it either. But she looked at it and she said, I think you are right, but it doesn't sound very believable. She didn't think it would happen in real life. She looked at the numbers and I was adding it correctly. And I went home and I talked to my parents, and my dad just thought that I was crazy. He wanted me to focus on my studies. I think I ended up doubling that $2 to $4, and then I discovered there weren't too many things I could buy for $4 that I could easily sell for $8. And that was the end of that story. Now, fast forward 15 years later, I was working on my PhD. By this time, I was collecting coins. I was going to school in Rochester, New York. I had family back home in Pittsburgh, and coins go for a lot more in Rochester than back in Pittsburgh. I would go home to Pittsburgh, buy a bunch of coins, and then go to Rochester and go on Craigslist to resell them. One time I had taken $1,000 home to Pittsburgh, and I bought all sorts of coins. I believe junk silver, a bunch of Indian head pennies, and I picked out all the rare dates before I sold the other ones, first of all, so I was already making a profit in that regard. And then I doubled the money. I bought $1,000 in coins. I picked out quite a few coins with rare dates on them, and I sold the rest of them for $2,000. And then a couple weeks later, I came back home to Pittsburgh to visit my family again, and I bought $2,000 worth of coins. I took them back to Rochester, and within a few weeks, I got $4,000 back for them. And I did the calculation again. This time, I was even closer to $1 million, only like 10 transactions away from $1 million. Unfortunately, it took me forever to sell the $4,000 worth of coins. I don't think I even got $8,000 back. I certainly made money, but I don't think I doubled it that time. But anyways, that's how you turn $1 into $1 million in 20 transactions. Of course, finding the right transactions is going to be what the tricky part is.